Hi, do you love horses? Because at Cavago Stories, we love horses. We love them a lot. We'll be talking to notable and amazing equestrian personalities from around the world. Our podcast, Cavago Stories, is on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can subscribe now or write to us at support@mycavago.com. That's support@mycavago.com. May the horse be with you.
Thank you so much for welcoming me here on this program today. I'm Ingela Larsson Smith. I am the founder and creator of Secrets of the Horse and True Connection. I was born with a passion for horses, even though I grew up in a skyscraper in Switzerland. And I got my own horse in my late teenage years and later got really passionate about natural horsemanship, and I studied it deeply. Natural horsemanship took me all over the world. I was able to teach and help horses in Africa, South America, North America, and all over Europe, as well as Australia, present at the palace for the Queen of England, and help the sheikhs with their highly priced Arabian show horses, as well as fix race horses in Turkey and start young colts in Australia. On my travels, I met Taz in Dubai, and I had the privilege to become his mentor, and later he came to study with me in England. So I feel so privileged about being here today. Taz, can you tell us a little bit about how your journey for Cavago began?
Ingela, thank you so much. In many ways, you've been a big inspiration for what Cavago is today. I remember coming over to the farm and learning directly from you. And it was a little small piece of the world that only I knew about at the time. And I thought it would be wonderful if more people knew about it, if lots of people could share that same knowledge and heart for horsemanship that you and I today share. And then there's so many other gems in the world. They might be fantastic places in Spain, riding Andalusians. They could be Lusitanos in Portugal, Lipizzanos in Vienna, Arabian horses in Dubai. And I thought it would be wonderful to have horse properties and horse businesses showcase their fantastic experiences and their programs from around the world on a single platform. And with that sort of tech background, I thought I'm going to indulge in creating this platform for the horse world, by the horse world.
That's wonderful. I so love the idea. You know, Taz, when I first heard about your idea, I was so excited. I think it's fantastic because lots of people love to travel and they book an Airbnb somewhere, as you know, but us horse people, what are we missing the most? It is to look out the window and see a horse, or preferably several, right? And then having some involvement with them. So what better way to combine it by having a place to stay and get some horse experience? I think it's absolutely wonderful. So can you tell us a little bit more about what Cavago is exactly?
Absolutely. So really, in certain ways, Cavago is an online app and a web platform that enables horse lovers, riders, and guests to be able to book an experience, a lesson, an equestrian vacation quite comfortably using a device such as a mobile phone. In its simplicity, that's what it is. But for me, the essence of Cavago is a lot more. I think it's a celebration of the horse world. With more than 500 different breeds of horses from around the world, the culture of the horse is so diverse and so rich, we should all be able to share it. I should be able to enjoy riding an Arabian horse in the deserts of, say, Dubai, or perhaps learning dressage on a Lusitano in Portugal, or maybe ride a Lipizzaner in Europe. All of these horses represent some very unique characteristics, very unique qualities that all of us as horse lovers dream of experiencing. If you go far afield to the Americas, in North America, you have the quarter horse. They ride totally differently. You can you can practice cutting or reining. And that's very different to perhaps the Peruvian Paso, which is such a comfortable horse. And I think we should really be celebrating the global culture of the horse. And Cavago essentially enables you to do that, to be able to immerse yourself in this world of horses.
So Taz, what really made you create Cavago, and why is it different? And what do you believe is going to be the impact on the equestrian world?
Absolutely. I've been lucky enough to visit many equestrian facilities and equestrian destinations that are famous in the horse world. It could be Janov Kadlowski, the famous Arabian breeding stud in Poland. It could be Iguada Cartuja in Spain, which is the foundation for the Andalusian horse. I've been very lucky to have experienced the horse world. But not everybody else often knows how to be able to access the horse world in that way. So I think that's one of the reasons why Cavago has been created. The other reason is because I think these gems of places, very much like the farm that I was at with you, Ingela, have something amazing to offer. Sometimes it's the lessons or the training. Sometimes it's the horses themselves. Sometimes it's a destination. It could be a fantastic indoor arena. It could be a mountain that you trek. It could be a beach. And all of these places are very hard to come by unless you know someone who knows someone. What Cavago does is essentially creates the TripAdvisor equivalent for people who love horses. So if I am going to Portugal, I would love to know the top 3 places I can go ride a horse. I would love to know the top 10 destinations to ride a horse by the beach. I'd love to be able to know what the nearest riding school is that I can go, or perhaps I can send my daughter to. So it gives you the length and breadth of horse businesses, not only around the corner from your place, but perhaps to a far-flung place that you dream of traveling to.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. I super love the idea. And, it's so special that no matter where you are in the world, you could just go and actually find the very thing you're looking for. Like even for me, when I'm looking for something, maybe I want to develop my ability in high-level dressage, then where do I go? And how do I find the place if I don't already know the people? So I am just thrilled you're doing this task. I think it's fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this for the horse community. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think the other thing I'd love to tell you about, Ingela, is that Cavago is a platform for the horse community. So imagine horse properties, riding schools, equestrian holiday destinations. Cavago is free to join for them. It's designed specifically to help enable their success, whether they need to create a website, whether it needs a payment gateway, and we can support them by doing digital and online marketing to target their types of customers. And I think that's really important because many equestrian facilities and equestrian managers are not so familiar with developing an online presence. They're not familiar with how to spend money on online marketing. And I think it's really important for them to be able to have access to that know-how and make it easy for them. And I think that's where Cavago really comes in and makes it spectacular. Only recently I was talking to a very famous equestrian destination. Naturally, with COVID, they've been affected quite a bit. And I said, are you thinking of marketing? And they said, yes, absolutely. But you know what? We really don't have the ability to spend that kind of money right now. And I felt so privileged to say, actually, no, Cavago is going to do the marketing. We'll spend the money on digital marketing for you. And they were thrilled. And I think that makes a huge difference to the horse world and horse owners Horses are not easy and not cheap to maintain. They're quite expensive at times. And sometimes horse people really want to focus on their business, which is work in the business of horses. But that's different to working on the business of promoting their place, of representing their place online. And yet they still want to be able to access people who are relevant, customers who are relevant, and who will really enjoy those experiences, be it a detailed lesson in dressage or be it a casual beach ride. Cavago kind of answers those questions.
Okay, so Taz, my passion is a heart-to-heart connection between people and horses, both ways, because it so enriches everybody's life. It doesn't matter if you're a little child or a grandpa, that heart-to-heart connection, or actually any kind of horse experience, really impacts your life. So what I would like to know is, how did you get to creating this? What were your thoughts? How did you come up with the idea to help horse people actually find a place where they can have a horse experience? How did this come about?
Yeah, I mean, Ingela, there have been so many inspirations. Of course, one of those inspirations is yourself, and the time I spent at the farm and learning directly from yourself. But at the same time, wherever I traveled with my parents when I was a child, and then in my adult life, I was always mesmerized by horses. So maybe everybody else would do their own thing, but I had to be around horses. I had to ride horses. I had to hang out with them. And I realized that I'm not alone. There's millions of horse lovers just like you and I. And I know you know Pat Pirelli pretty well. He says there's only two kinds of people. There are horse lovers and the other kind. And we're horse lovers, and we recognize each other no matter where we are in the world, no matter what language we speak. We still speak horse, and we recognize each other in that context. And I really wanted to create this global community that identifies with each other. So whether I'm in South Africa, whether I'm in India, whether I'm in Dubai, whether I'm in Egypt, North America, Japan, horses really unite us. And I think it's interesting you said about heart-to-heart connection. We feel really special around horses. And I think as horse people, we feel closer to each other, and we speak a common language, we share a common bond. And I think it's really important for this entire community to come together. Now, it doesn't really matter whether you ride Western, whether you ride dressage, whether you're a show jumper, or whether you're a casual rider. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter whether you ride a horse, as long as you want to be around a horse. And I think that's something that we'd love to celebrate. That's something that we'd love to share with the rest of the world. Like I said earlier, with so many different unique breeds of horses and the cultures that attach to those breeds of horses, I think it's quite special. I would love to be able to go ride a horse in Mongolia, in the steppes of Mongolia, in the same way that I'd like to ride a Lusitano, in the same way that I'd like to ride a boped in South Africa, or a Peruvian paso in Peru, or a quarter horse in Texas. I think it's a really special feeling that the people that are around these horses share a common bond that you identify with. And I think we're a force. I think us as a global horse community are quite a force. They just need a voice. And I think Cavago can provide that community, that sense of voice, and really allowing us to dream further.
Okay, it looks like the horse world is changing, and also how people access new experiences with horses. So it looks like Cavago is quite interesting in this behalf, right?
Yeah, actually, Ingela, it's interesting you say that. Often if you go to an equestrian school or a particular destination, they're used to taking a booking either on the phone or sometimes in person, and sometimes they'll just write it down on a scrap of paper. Sometimes they'll write it down on a scrap of paper. But of course, customers are changing their behaviors. Today, customers are quite happy using an app such as an Airbnb or a booking.com and anonymously book their experience or their lesson. this world is not always accessible to the horse world, because horse businesses are very good at working in the business, i.e. working with horses, but not very good at working on the business, knowing how to promote their property and making it relevant for a customer. I think this is where Cavago can really help, because we take on that burden of making sure that customers find relevant experiences and are able to access them easily. So using an app to book immediately saves the host a lot of time and energy, but also makes the experience really amazing for the customer. Because imagine just turning up with a small voucher that says, I have a ride today at 5 p.m. No questions asked. And the next thing you know, you get on a horse, because the horse property already knows that you're arriving. And I think that makes, that allows technology to solve a very important question or a problem in the horse world. And I think that has tremendous potential.
Yes, it's absolutely fantastic, because it's actually that Cavago is taking that burden completely off the horse people, which is one of the hardest things for most horse people, right? Advertising, booking, it's also complicated, and that's why we just wrote it down on a piece of paper. But this app, is it fully functional?
It's fully functional. You can book immediately. And what we've done is we've actually introduced in-app communication. So once you've made your booking, you can actually talk to the host, and the host can talk to the customer. And it's designed to be extremely user-friendly. We've taken on a lot of feedback to make it so relevant to the horse world, where you can actually book a full-on riding vacation. You can lease a horse. You can put your horse in livery. And you can learn from instructors from around the world, and kind of even at times wanderlust over what you'd love to experience with horses. And I think that's really special.
Right, yeah, fabulous. And I gather the hosts that sign up, Cavago is actually creating the web pages for them. Is that right?
Actually, yes. Cavago actually works with the host to create their page, so to really represent who they are. And you know what's amazing is, Ingela, we have more than 30 different countries now on the platform. From a host in the Dominican Republic, to Turkey, to South Africa, to Brazil, to the United States, the UAE, Singapore, Australia. It's extraordinary. We're literally representing the globe of the horse world. And I feel so privileged to be able to do that work.
So Taz, how does it feel when you go from having this idea about really making horse experiences available to horse people, to now being in a place where Cavago is growing so fast and you already have all these countries signed up? How does that feel to you when you had a dream and a vision and now you see it materialize? How is that for you personally?
And I cannot tell you how privileged, how special I feel. I still have shivers and I pinch myself. It's borderline miraculous to have an idea and then be able to do something about it and work so hard to get it to where it is. And we're just at the beginning. I mean, there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of incredible horse experiences around the world. And so I feel really privileged, I think, and I feel very special. And I feel a lot of responsibility as well to be able to represent the best of the horse world. But to me, is it just a dream job? No, it's more than that. It's my life's work. And I think when I hear responses from so many horse lovers around the world, and at times their jaw drops when they think, oh man, this is the dream of horses around the world. I cannot tell you how happy I am. But I also have to say that it's just not me. We've got a phenomenal team that works on it across from the technology itself all the way through to the marketing. And then, of course, folks like yourself who've been absolute inspirations, ambassadors, friends, advisors. It's a dream come true, but it really becomes a dream when the whole horse world embraces it. This is just the beginning. This is so exciting.
It's so exciting, Taz. And, when I'm thinking back 12 years ago when we met, right? 13 years ago, and you were so involved in just communicating with horses. And now here you are, and you have pulled off this fantastic opportunity to unite the horse world globally. I mean, I feel very privileged to know you. So this is so cool. Do I have to ask for an autograph one day, or?
Never, Ingela.
I'll just get one, right?
Ingela, you're one of my biggest inspirations. I should be getting your autograph.
Taz, thank you so much for having me. I look so forward to see where Cavago goes.
Ingela, thank you for speaking to me, and I'm really looking forward to how Cavago progresses. And of course, with you and all your support, and every single horse lover around the world, it's so exciting, and I'm very grateful for your time and you speaking to me.
You're very welcome, and I just wish you all the best and the greatest success with Cavago. I know it will bless so many people.
Thank you, Ingela.
You can subscribe now on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Or you can write to us at support@mycavago.com. That's support@mycavago.com. Thank you for listening in. We can't wait to hear from you. May the horse be with you.